Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Talking with the Dad podcast, episode 49. Let's have this little conversation about it during our pre-show here. Stevie, how you doing this evening?
Doing good. Feeling good. Look good. Taste good. All good.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We got some fun topics
That was my Don King impression. You might be too young to know who that is.
I know who Don King is, but I don't know why Don King is famous.
Okay, so listen.
Don King, hold on. Don King was was he a boxing promoter?
He was a boxing promoter. He's also your spirit animal. I assume that your business practices would be a lot like Don King's.
Shady?
No. What's shady really, Zach? Right?
Oh.
One man's shady is another man's upsell on the contract, right?
Dude, hold on a second. Known for, I'm reading this verbatim from Wikipedia right now. The Thrilla in Manila, the Rumble in the Jungle, defrauding top boxers for over 2 decades.
Yep. Do you know he's also the guy he eventually got his revenge against Muhammad Ali. So Muhammad, he actually the Thrilla Manila, the Rumble in the Jungle, worked with Ali and his team on that. Obviously, one against Foreman and the other against Frazier. And funny thing is that he hated Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad Ali got his revenge against Don King, and Don King got his revenge against Muhammad Ali. So there was I forget his name. Larry Holmes was a sparring partner for Muhammad Ali early in his career, wound up being the guy that ultimately retired Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali should have been retired years prior. But Don King had set that fight up, got his revenge because he felt like Muhammad Ali had mistreated him earlier. That's neither here nor there. Muhammad Ali actually wins the whole thing because you know how much he got paid allegedly to show up to every Don King fight event?
How much?
$25,000 just to show. In retirement. Just to sit in the stands. Free ticket, 25 G's.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Could you imagine being Don King looking back like you're having a good night? Mike Tyson's killing it. At the prime of his career, you turn around, you see Muhammad Ali, 25 G's every time you see him.
That's incredible, dude. That's awesome.
How you doing tonight, Zach? Man, you look happy, dude. I don't like it. You look happy. Why are you so happy?
I'm never happy. I'm not happy.
That's
I
not
don't know
true.
what you're talking about. Existence
I've seen you happy. Yeah, I've seen you happy 5 times.
5 ever? Nice. That's
what's
a
going
good
on?
Number.
What'd you do today? What'd you do?
Well, I had a buffalo chicken sandwich for lunch. That was delicious. Very good. It's one of my favorite meals. And then I had fish tacos for dinner.
Nice.
So,
from where? Where'd you get the sandwich from?
You made me some? The chicken sandwich I got Jake's Wayback Burger. That's where I go. That's my kind of my go-to now because I think it has the best chicken sandwich around. My mom made the fish tacos. I have to give her credit on that one. I did not help. It was my idea, but I did not help in the process.
Did you come out your room to scrutinize at all, to make sure the fish were cooked
Absolutely.
the way you like them?
First thing I came out and I'm like, why'd you chop up the fish like this? Long strips that were cubed. I'm like, what is this? What is that? Yeah, absolutely came out and scrutinized. Always do. Have to.
This is a little different than your scenario, but I had a friend who moved back to her parents' house late in life. It's kind of a transition moment for her until she got her new place. And she was telling me about this instance where she's like, everything's really good. I really love being back here. There's just one problem. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, my parents do this thing where they yell through the basement floor like I'm a troll that lives in their house instead of calling me up for dinner like a civilized person. And I always get this image of you kicking out your door like, cut the fish just a little bit thinner, Mom. Just a little bit thinner.
No. I'm not that much of a dick, but no, I did. Dude, I had to go talk trash.
You made something the other day, man, that really caught my eye. You sent me the picture and I was like, man, it looks really good. What was that? What did you send me the other day that you made?
I'm trying to look. I don't know.
Was it steak?
It was skirt steak. That was a skirt steak. That was the single best. The single best steak I have ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it was very good. Marinated it overnight in just I juiced a full lemon, left the lemon in the bag. Zesty Italian dressing like that you'd put on a salad, and a little bit I rubbed it in garlic. It was incredible, dude. It was absolutely incredible. I never cooked a skirt steak before. I'm usually like a one steak kind of person, right? That's where my expertise of cooking comes from, if you can call it that. It's pretty shit, honestly. And I first time doing like a bigger piece, and yeah, it turned out really, really well. I had originally taken it off a little bit too early, put it back on for like a few more minutes, and it just came out, and it was so tender that you could have cut it with a fork. It was incredible. It was so good.
No,
very, very good.
So best you've ever had, and you made it yourself.
Yes. I might be slightly biased.
You and Trump have more in common than you'll ever care to.
Dude, I wish I could have given you a piece of this, man. Honestly, it was really good. Like, it was very good.
You ever think Trump calls Pence from like the White House to wherever the vice president stays? I know they have their
White
own
House.
do you ever think he just calls him? He's like, hey, Mike, I just made a steak. It was amazing. Can you come down right now? And Pence is like, leave me alone, please. I need to sleep, dude. We actually had some really good, you've had Santana's chicken wings before.
Yep.
She made those. Bomb.
Very good.
Very,
very good.
Very happy with that. I had to do a 3 dip for this one. That's how good the chicken was. I had mustard, hot sauce, and barbecue sauce. I'm a huge mustard person. Love mustard. Yellow mustard is my go-to. I do love all the assortments of mustard. When I was at Primetime the other day, I saw they had their own house mustard that I was thinking about picking up until I realized it was $14. And I was like,
it's probably worth it. I like a spicy brown mustard, honestly. I think it's the most like yellow is good, right? Let's be fair. Yellow is good. You have a hot dog on like a summer afternoon, you put a fucking yellow mustard on it. But if I'm making a sandwich, if I want to like crust something, I put it spicy brown mustard. I think is my favorite.
So if you ever want to try something that's really good, you take some horseradish, cut that up a little bit, put that in the brown mustard. Amazing.
Sounds good to me. I like horseradish a lot.
Yellow mustard and wasabi, also very good.
Yellow mustard and wasabi. I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
No, dude,
I'm not a huge fan of wasabi.
What?
Yeah, I just don't.
That's because you eat at all those shady sushi spots where the cook is running out and someone's chasing after him.
I refuse to eat wasabi.
To this day, you've told me some amazing stories. We've shared stories, but that is quite possibly the funniest story that you've ever told me. Just thinking about that little man running out.
That was my goal. That was my goal, is to make it as funny as possible.
Oh man, but I won't delay you anymore. We got a bunch of topics here tonight, man. I'm feeling pumped about. Wait. We got 7, and then we got the mystery 8 that isn't filled in, mystery 8. But we got some stuff that's going on here. We got a bit of history happening this weekend, Zach. History's on the line, man. Yeah,
you're right.
History's on the line.
Fortnite has been pulled from both Apple and the Android Play stores.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've worked at it hard since this show has started. We've been secretly undermining this whole scenario. I hang out in the weirdest places just to talk trash about Fortnite. I've gotten beat up by people who are less athletic than me. I've been attacked by people who are bigger than me, but it's finally happened. Fortnite is off the Play Store and off the Apple Store.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, Zach? How do you feel?
Unaffected. I'm trying to think of other words. I don't know. I don't care.
I'm gonna let you put your czar hat on here so I can alley-oop this to you here, man, because Zach is our resident business and esport aficionado. So you explain to me. That's a lot of pressure, right? There's a troll sitting there like, I know way more than Zach. You explain to me what's happening here. Go ahead, give it to me.
So from what I understand, I only cursory read into this, honestly, because I saw that it was about Fortnite. I didn't really care. Really, the bigger thing is Epic, right? Epic lowered the price of V-Bucks on just, I think in general, across the board, right? Which then lowered it in the in-game purchase in both on the Androids and on iPhones. So it would undermine buying it through the Play Store or the App Store, right? They even promoted it, saying, hey, don't buy it through these guys, buy it through us, as to try to make all the profit. People make percents off of, like, Apple makes 38%, right? It was the contract you told me.
Right.
Off of each purchase that is made through Apple for Fortnite. Okay. They're taking almost 40%. I think industry standard is about 30. when something like that happens. So I don't know why Epic signed that contract. They're the biggest. Fortnite is the biggest game on the planet in a lot of regards. Steam, for example, takes 30%. When you buy a game through Steam, Steam gets 30, Dev gets 70. So yeah, I mean, it's fairly standard within the business practice. But what's really shady is why would they break their contract on both platforms? I have theories, but I feel like you might have a response for me here.
So I don't have a response. I'm more caught up in what's the theory, dude? You can't do that. You can't say I have theories and go. I think you're gonna go Alex Jones. So let me hit a theory and then I'll see if I have a response.
Fortnite and Tencent are together. We know this for a fact, right?
Oh boy. Okay.
Tencent owns 40% of Epic.
Okay.
Tencent, I believe, in my head, at this point, because Fortnite is so big, Tencent might have convinced Epic to pull it off of those platforms, and they're going to be releasing a phone that is made for Fortnite, a platform that is made for Fortnite mobile. That's where I would think it was going. You have to get off of these other platforms first, I think, because then all the people who are playing, some of the best players in the world play on fucking tablets, dude, on iPads. Some of the best players in the world play on iPads, right? Now it's gone. They can't play that anymore. So they're going to look for where to buy it next. Now, if in the next week or so, Tencent's like, hey, by the way, here is the Fortnite tablet. It comes, all it does is play Fortnite. It's the same size as an iPad, the same size as what the fuck is the Samsung tablets or the garbage tablets, Galaxy tablets? Same size as all that stuff. Here's $150. You're in the door, right? And then you buy your V-Bucks or whatever through it. That's where I'm thinking.
So I will not rebuttal that, but I just want to throw out I don't know, I guess a question there. So let's say they do that, right? So that means, are you suggesting that they're going to move away from the complete OS architecture of iOS and Android? Because that, like,
Android's open source. Android's open source, but Google acquired them, did they not?
They're still open source. So that means they're open source like Linux, like you can use the Android code to create.
You could use your Android code, the base Android code to make your own platform, right? Mm-hmm. And just release a version of, everyone has their own version of Android, right? Your version of Android.
Everyone has their operating system skinned on Android.
Correct, right? And that's exactly what they would do. It would be super easy. You know, your Samsung Android is different than my Pixel Android. Right?
Oh yeah, TouchWiz is bloated all on top, powered by Android. Yeah.
Right. And you know, my Android is pure Android. It is literally just Android, and that's very nice. But yeah, I feel like they could do that fairly easily. Tencent's a very large company. They're valued at like $400 billion or something.
I mean, but would they do that? That'd be interesting to see, man. Like, and would people go? Would people follow them there? Yes. I'm wondering if obviously, I guess what I'm saying is I wonder if people will ever get to the place where they'll look at a company like Tencent and go, wait, now that I've done my personal research and understanding who this company is, I'm not going to do that. It's funny that you say that because don't they own a stake in Huawei?
I was thinking that, and I wanted to look that up. Because I was in the process of it, but I don't think they do.
Because that seems like that would be the low-hanging fruit, just to go ahead and go, hey, we have this. But that phone's not even allowed to be sold in the States anymore, is it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
This is weird, man. It's weird in many levels because I don't do mobile gaming, so I don't disrespect anyone in that scene. I don't know a lot about it. I know it's not something that really piques your interest either, but...
Here, actually, I didn't even know about this. Chinese tech giants Tencent, Huawei team up to develop mobile cloud gaming platform.
There it is.
That was March of this year.
See, there it is. It's already in the. But they can't sell the phone here. Can they even sell it in Europe? Is it allowed?
How big is China's gaming industry?
Oh, that just started playing music. Sorry.
My computer's acting weird.
Absolute shit out of me. It is a cloud gaming platform. Cloud gaming. You would go in and log into the site, access your gaming cloud, and then play the stuff on your phone. Not that the highway it would come on a highway. It was just a cloud gaming, right? Same thing as what Xbox is moving towards. Same thing as what Stadia is, right? It's that cloud gaming platform, and that's what they're working on.
It's crazy. No one asked for all of this cloud gaming. Is this something you wanted? Is there anyone that asked for this?
I still like discs. I still like discs. I like to look at the box art.
Oh man, you don't know nothing about no box art, man. You buy a CD and it's like they thank the contributors, all the people that were involved in the project, man. Little funny references and stuff like that. But this is weird, man. Like I'm gonna be honest, Fortnite is like I'm trying to think of one of those things that has lasted forever, and I'm just like, when's it gonna come to an end? But it makes so much money.
Been around for 2 years.
Yeah, but Fortnite, 2 years of Fortnite, it's like all the years of The Simpsons condensed into 2 years. Like it's just never gonna go away. But people enjoy it, and those mobile players, I gotta be honest with you, they're sick. I watched a video the other day, 2 hours of some kid playing mobile Fortnite, and I was like, this kid's pretty amazing. I don't know what he's playing on. I don't know how he's streaming it, but he is killing everyone around him, and none of them were bots. This means nothing to me. I'm not downloading Fortnite anytime soon, but it seemed like it was worth reporting on. I do know that there were a bunch of people who were really upset about this. So the way it worked out for Apple at the very least was if you already had the game pre-installed and you had downloaded it and whatever your achievements and trophies, whatever that stuff is, you didn't lose access to the game. Anyone
you just can't download it from here on forward.
Yeah, moving forward. No updates, no support, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
But again, we saw this back in the day with Apple and Google Maps, and lo and behold, Google Maps is back. YouTube, all that stuff, it's back on there. And so maybe it'll come back. I don't know about the cloud-based gaming. I don't know if that's something that a lot of people are going to...
Something I just came up with, honestly. And then it kind of worked out for me, but...
Yeah, your theory worked and panned out very well. We'll see what happens with this, man. But that wasn't the history I was talking about, man. There's some history happening this weekend, Zach. I mean, Guinness Book of World Record, groundbreaking, bigger than what's happening in November history. You want to tell the people what it is?
I have no idea. I don't know what you're referring to. I don't know what you're alluding to. I don't know what you're leading into. What is it?
Zach's playing Battlefield, folks. Mister, I'm off of shooters. I'm done with it. I've changed. I've only
I stopped playing shooters because Modern Warfare was so bad. Then I came back and played Tarkov, right? I played Tarkov, right. And then Tarkov right now is in a really bad state. Now, I wanted a casual shooter. I said that. I've been playing Battlefield. It's been fun.
How's it? No, wait. See, don't do that, man. I know it's been fun, but you were like smiling ear to ear when you first got on this call. You greeted me in a way that you've never greeted me before. You're like, Stevie, hey, man, how you doing? How's life?
I did not say any of that. I'm pretty positive I called you words that we can't say on YouTube like I normally do.
No. You and your weird little purple Drake. You're full of shit, dude.
It's a seltzer. Leave me alone.
How was your run, man? How was your run through the how did everything go today? Stream looked good.
Battlefield, man. Yeah, there's their ups and their downs. Today was an up day for sure. Other than one game, it turned real dark real quick. But generally, no, today was really good. I was top of the leaderboard for most of the time that I was playing, which usually never happens because Battlefield, there's levels to Battlefield, right? Like there's people who know Battlefield and like the physics and like, you know, how far to lead shots 100% of the time. And I don't know any of that because I don't play it very much. But yeah, it was a really good day on Battlefield, honestly. It was fun.
I think it's a lot like so many other things, man, where if you have the fundamental base skills to deal with something. Like I'm a firm believer, and if you're a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, you can walk into a wrestling gym, and if it's like catch wrestling, you're going to do pretty well. You're going to do pretty well that day, especially if it's catch wrestling. If it's point wrestling, you're going to have a rough day. Yeah, you're going to have a pretty horrible day. You can walk into a judo gym. You're going to do fairly well. You're probably going to do a lot better than a lot of the judo players there. It's going to get really awkward when you start choking people out, and you're only supposed to be throwing them around. But you're going to have a good day. With shooters, if you are good, if you possess the natural talent, flick shot, the aim, the response time, I'm not going to do the whole cheesy speed, momentum, violence thing, but I was going to do it.
You just did. You snuck it in there. Man, he's such a Doc fan, dude. Honestly, I watched the Return of Doc, dude, and that was it. Honestly, I haven't seen him since, haven't cared. He's popped up in my feed.
He was killing it today, man. He was on with your boy.
Who? You can't say that and then have me know who it is. I didn't know.
PewDiePie, is that how you pronounce it? They streamed together today.
Okay. I've never watched PewDiePie. I just know that he's the most popular single channel on YouTube. I think Mr. Beast will pass him though.
They were playing that damn game, the little egg people, the thing that
Fall
everyone's
Guys?
playing right.
Fall Guys
Yeah.
is fun. Dude. Fall Guys is fun. But Fall Guys is not the it is. It honestly is. Fall Guys is not the kind of fun though that you go to like relax. Fall Guys is like that like frustrating fun where it's like, wow, I'm having a good time, but holy shit, I would rip your arms off if you were next to me. And then beat you to death with them.
I watched the game for 2 seconds.
It's hilarious.
I'm like, I can't do this. This is like a nightmare.
It's
like a literal nightmare of mine to end up in a scenario like that where I'm forced to play a game.
You're very close-minded.
What?
Very close-minded. You really are. When it comes to games, you're really close-minded. You know what you know, and you know what you like, and that's it. You wouldn't play anything outside of it.
Not true. Just think about how many games I've played with you, man.
And how many of them do you still play?
I actually played Rocket League without you a couple of times.
Rocket League is fun. Rocket League is like a good party game, right? Like Rocket League,
a great game.
We could get like 6 people together and just go play 3v3s in Rocket League and have the best time.
Dude, I had the time of my life that night playing.
Dude, that was,
and I was like,
hilarious.
I smiled too much and I felt too much joy in my heart. And I was like, that's it. Not playing this anymore.
Not playing it ever again.
But no, I feel like with the base talents, you would be really good at basically almost every shooter. But that's not always true, right? Like I've seen people who are really good at games like Apex and other games. They suck in Rainbow, right? They're
different games though, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's certain games that lead into other games as far as skill, right? Counter-Strike really well leads into Valorant and Rainbow Six Siege because it's all about angles. It's all about holding corners until someone comes around and you click on their head, right?
Right.
Call of Duty leads really well into kind of Battlefield. Battlefield's in its weird own genre. Right. It leads really Apex, Fortnite, I think, like a bunch of those like battle royale games. Like Call of Duty leads really well into because you're just playing to get that kill, right? Tarkov is in its own league. You can have the base fundamentals, but there are so many other factors in Tarkov. It's in its own league. Yeah, there's a lot of things that lead well into each other that yeah, you're right. Your base fundamentals essentially will always be there. Your aim will always be there in whatever game, but figuring out the rest of it is the hard part. That's why Shroud is so fun to watch. Shroud can pick up any game, anytime, and be competitive. He may not be the best player ever. He's very good. Don't get me wrong. Very, very good. But he's very versatile, and that's what makes Shroud incredible.
So as I was watching you guys play Battlefield, the one thing I noticed is like I like the engagement. Right, there's a lot more engagement in a battle royale. I know it's not a battle royale, and so it's different in that sense, but
not at all.
There's more. There's more engagements. There's less chill time where you're just running around looking for something to happen. Oh, dude, that's what I wanted to ask you about. What is that game? I can never pronounce it. H1Z1, H1 and A1.
H1Z1.
Did they get an update? Did a new version come out or something?
Probably. I have no idea. No one plays it.
Oh, okay. No, well, people are playing the new one.
There's like 3,000 people playing or something like that. You could barely find lobbies. Dude, if I could find lobbies in H1Z1, dude, I would be in there murdering kids. That game, like I say, I'm good at a lot of games, right? Call of Duty is probably the game that I've been the best at my entire life.
Right.
H1Z1 is a very close second, though. There were times in H1Z1, yes, there were times in H1Z1 where I would just drop into like a squad game as a solo and win games, right? And there was a time where me and Shane were playing, and Shane dies super early on, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go die, but I'm not gonna like kill myself, die, right? I'm gonna go get in engagements, and then if I die, I die. It doesn't matter. And I got 19 kills because I would just hop out of car, just killing kids, right? I was very, very good at H1Z1. It could have gotten an update. I could look at my my Steam.
Should have done that in a Trump voice. If ever there was a time for your Trump impression, I know you like to do it sparingly, but that was actually really good. No, I mean I was watching the stream. I gotta tell you honestly, folks, tune into Zach's stream on Twitch, man, because it was good. It was good, man. Listen,
I appreciate it.
I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I don't like most things that you do. I can't stand you as a person, and I wish ill on you every morning when I wake up.
True.
But
that's why my
when it comes to what?
That's why my knees ache. It's like that. It's that Steve thought. It's like, and then twinges on it.
I can't feel it. That double kill. Actually, you should link that somewhere in the description. That was really good. I'm glad you're having fun.
Just a clip.
I'm gonna be having some fun. after this. After we do our tags,
I
and
feel
we have our.
I feel like you would like Battlefield, honestly.
I think I would too. I don't know if I'd like playing with you, Zach. Here's the thing, man. I love you like a little brother, but there's some times when we play games with each other where I'm like, I'm driving over to his house right now,
Do you know?
and I'm gonna beat him to death
Do
with
you
his
know
own
why?
arm.
You know why Battlefield's not that game? I don't
Why
take
is that?
Battlefield seriously, right?
Oh,
I take
okay,
Call
okay.
of Duty seriously just because I'm an idiot, honestly.
No, dude, hold on for a second. You were never a dick when we played Call of Duty. Actually, you were like the best person to play. You're like, all right, Steve, keep up. If
Because
you
I
get lost,
wanted
buddy,
to win.
I'll be
Because I wanted to
I'll
win.
be back. I'll be back for you. I can't remember what it was. Friggin' World War Z of all games. So I was like, I'm gonna beat this kid.
I hated it. I hated playing that. I enjoyed the first playthrough a lot.
Right.
I had a lot of
That was
fun doing the first playthrough, and it was enjoyable. But when we did the same fucking mission on insane difficulty 50 times, it may not be an understatement. Honestly, it had to. Okay, let me cut 25 times.
Right.
I started getting pissed off, and then at 50, I'm like, we're not fucking doing anything. Right. There's a part of me that like if I'm not progressing in something, and we weren't, right, until like we did, like there was something that just clicked and it worked. But at one point we were in that first hallway 50 times in a row. And I'm like, nothing is happening.
You're playing the averages at that point, right? When it's that hard and everything's stacked against you, you have to do almost everything perfectly in every run. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was when you and Shane were camped out on the left side, me and Pete were on the right side, and we had run that same strategy over and over again.
Times, man, at least. But like, so I compare it to like Dark Souls, right? Dark Souls is a very, very hard game, right? You've played a little bit now, so you can talk about it. But there's a thing to Dark Souls where like, if you die, you learn something in Dark Souls, right? You're like, oh, he can do that mechanic. Oh, he spins and hits you off the map, right? You learn something. Okay, well, I can't stand here now because there's a second guy here that comes and kicks me, right? You are learning something, and learning something is progression. No matter if you die in the same exact spot 10 times in a row, but you learn something every time, that's progression, right? Because that 11th time, you knew more than you did the 10th time, therefore you have a better chance of succeeding. We were in that same fucking hallway doing the same thing 50 times in a row, and we weren't learning anything. We're like, okay, there's a lot of them, and they're real hard to kill, and that's it.
You know what the worst part about that scenario was? There is no rhythm to it. It literally is just overwhelming you with numbers. So
because they couldn't make it any harder, right? Like the way to make it harder was to just spawn things behind you. No, not even more, but just spawn things behind you, right? I would go and clear an area, right? All the doors are closed, like you can't even get into these places. And then like 30 seconds later, there's something behind me attacking me. And I'm like, okay, you're gonna give me 1,000 zombies in front of me, fine. But if you're gonna give me 8 behind me as well, that makes it really difficult.
No, I think Battlefield looks fun. How much does that game cost?
It's actually on sale, like $5 on Steam or something. Here's why you would like it, right? There are so many different play styles in Battlefield. Today alone, I was rushing with assault rifles, right? Like what you were seeing me do. I stayed in the back of the map with a sniper and saw 3 people for 40 minutes. And I just sat there with a sniper, right? I was holding corners with a shotgun. There's so many different play styles. You don't have to play like me, right? Not many people can, the way that I just constantly hit the ground and run. You can ask Cash this, right? When we were talking about playing Call of Duty together, and Cash was like, yeah, man, I'm good. Like, but like, I don't know if I want to play you guys. I'm like, no, just play with us, right? Like we're good. And he was like, ah, okay, I don't get it. And the next day he was like, holy shit, you guys hit the ground when you spawn and you don't stop sprinting, right? There's 1,000 people in the world who play a game like that, right? And I do that in Battlefield too, which is bad. There's so many different play styles that it would work really well for you. You don't need that super quick reaction time or the knowledge of how this gun works over the other guns that you're facing against, right? You can just sit, hold a corner, and get kills and have a good time. Honestly, you really can.
Which one are you guys playing? Battlefield 5?
4. We're playing 4.
Okay.
How much is 4 right now? Is it $10 on Steam?
No, $14.99.
It's worth it. So yeah, there's a lot of different playstyles in Battlefield. That's why Battlefield is such a good game. I really love Battlefield. I kind of, ever since I started playing in 3, so I didn't get the best one, I guess. Apparently the game that came out before Battlefield 3 was Bad Company 2 or something. I'm speaking shit that I don't even know about now. And and apparently that's the best one. A lot of people widely consider that the best one.
It's very, very active community, right?
Battlefield does, and it's on PC, active on PC, right? Battlefield is always a PC game. It always has been.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's on consoles. I played Battlefield 3 on a console. That's where I first started playing. I played it a lot, honestly. And then before I switched over to PC, and the community on Battlefield on PC is much better.
Okay. I'm in for it, man. I'm probably gonna have to wait for payday. I'm going to be playing after this. After the tag,
right?
After the post show, after we say our goodbyes and stuff like that, and then that weird moment where I'm trying to get off the call and you're still trying to like keep me on for a second more, I'm gonna be playing Avengers a day for about 5 minutes because I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm just gonna log in real quick, check out the beta. Now, I'm a little apprehensive to do this, right? Because I've built this up in my head, and if it's bad on any level, I'm literally gonna take this computer. I'm going to drive to the studio in California. I'm going to beat those people to death with it.
It's a long drive.
But I think it's going to be worth it. I think I'll stay focused the whole time. Listen to that. Listen to that one song by The Weeknd, Blinding Lights, the entire way there. I think if you're going to go commit a crime like that, you got to listen to the same song.
That's
over and over.
Lunacy.
But I'm looking forward to that, man. I gotta be honest with you, man. I've avoided all the reviews except for little snippets here and there, like except for that one crotchety guy that did a review and he was just like, hey, everything about it and the beta was like pretty cool. Obviously there are some detractors, people who have to say negative things because that's what their channel is based off of. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I've been looking forward to playing this game for a while because as of right now, in my estimation, in my opinion, the only successful superhero game there's ever been that was fun or worth playing was Spider-Man.
Yeah, not even just a new one. They were all fun, right?
Yeah.
The old Spider-Mans on like PS2 is what I played were fun, right? They were fun games. They weren't great games, let's be fair, right? They were fun games, though. And that's what Spider-Man's always been, a fun game. The Hulk game was garbage.
It was amazing. Amazingly bad, but it was like at one point I realized there was no real point to the game, and I was like, all right, well, I'm done with this.
Sometimes it's apparently those are the best games.
Apparently, X-Men Origins, the Wolverine story, is also really good. Has a very strong cult following. I never played. Yeah, like
I didn't even know they made a fucking X-Men game.
Apparently, it is like the game. It's just Wolverine, but they're like people love it.
2006.
Yeah, people love it, man.
Bro, people
they
who like
love
games that are this old are people that have freaked me out a little bit, honestly.
What do you mean?
This is 2006, bro. This is 14 years later. Grow up.
What do you mean they freak you out, though? Like,
they're people who obsess over weird things. I don't like people who obsess over weird things.
Like the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I've never seen it, dude. I've never seen it. People obsess over that shit, dude. Obsess over it.
I'm going to be honest with you. The first time an ex of mine put that on, like she had built it up so much. This is like a huge thing growing up in the city. Like people would actually go to this one theater in the village to watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show over and over again. And I've been hearing about this, and it's like that and Rent, right? I didn't get it, right? Mears was one of those weirdos. Fat Mantis, him and another buddy of mine, they would go to the same theater, hope they could see Rent for free. I'm like, didn't you see it already? And they're like, yeah, but we're going to see it again. I'm like, sounds weird.
Meatloaf is in this movie.
Yes, dude. Any movie, he's in Fight Club as well.
Yeah, I know he was in Fight Club. He was the guy who gets shot.
Oh man, when you say it like that, it's heartbreaking. But it's him, I know, man. But it's just his fat body thinking about that scene when he's trying to run and
amazing.
Gets clipped. And dude, the crazy thing was he was moving so fast, dude.
Well, see, here's the way that fat people look fast, right? And I can talk about this. I'm fat. You move or you flail, right? You do one of these. See how fast I look right there? Like holy shit! Like, oh man, he's zooming. And honestly, I've moved 8 feet. And if you looked at me from head on, I'm moving. Look at me from the side, and you're like, what the? Is that guy seizing? Like, what is happening?
No, man, I think there's a scene in the movie Logan where there's a fat child portly child running away from some villains, and he looks like he's moving so fast. I'm like, man,
he's doing really the thing I just described.
I realize that now. But I don't know how we got here from Avengers.
I don't care.
I'm gonna play Avengers, man. I checked my own personal YouTube channel and I was like, oh, I can stream from here. Maybe I'll stream it on YouTube. Not gonna do something like that on Twitch.
This is what I want you to do. So don't worry about streaming it. I want you to record your first impressions. I want you to turn OBS on to the old recording thing that I had set up for you. Hit record, and then I want it from desktop until you start hating it. And that's what I want the video to be. It could be 55 years long.
What if I don't start hating?
It could be 50 years long. But I want that initial reaction. Actually, I just want the first 10 minutes of initial reaction. Well, once you figure out the audio,
you know what that moment was?
Cutscene.
You know what that moment right there was? That was you going, wait, if it's too long and I'm the one that has to edit this somehow to include it until I show you, like, I want all of it. Wait, I want none of it. I want most of it, but I don't want to have to do a lot of work.
If we were to do it, we would upload it like raw. I wouldn't want to doctor it. It'd be fun. It'd be fun for sure. I will do that. I will record myself watching the Call of Duty reveal this year.
Really?
I will absolutely do it. And just because I'll get fucking crazy analytical. I might do it on stream.
Are you going to record all those poor SOBs that are caught up in this console war experience?
Those idiots? No, I don't care.
Oh man, don't call them that. Breaking news, folks. Breaking news 4 days ago, apparently.
Yeah, it's just
Halo's delayed, dude. But I called this on the show. I called something very similar, like this was gonna happen. I'm like, dude, there's no way this whole thing goes off without a hitch. There are problems brewing over there at Microsoft that made them come out with a great reveal initially at the Game Awards. I thought it was a little premature, but I knew something like this was gonna come down the pipeline. Halo's delayed. And what really sucks about this, man, there were so many cool things that even as someone that has not been into esports for a long time, but someone that was around when the first Halo game came out, I was like, this is going to be amazing. Yeah. We're going to have Halo. We're going to have Halo in esports again. We're going to get to see guys like Ninja, I don't want to call them older streamers, but guys who played this stuff. Even Doc was excited about it. Like, he tried to pretend like he wasn't. But thinking about being able to stream Halo or be in it competitively again, and that's just, it's gone.
It means a lot to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
It means a lot to a lot of people. It's delayed, right? It's not gone. Here's the issue.
It's like a dad that went to go get a pack of cigarettes.
This console generation launch that's hilarious. This console generation launch, it's my dad. This console generation is really
literally lives 30 minutes away from you.
Not even. It's not even that far. He doesn't smoke either. This console generation is really kind of falling flat on its face. If you think about it, right? The poor launch titles. There's not even really any great launch titles for either of it, especially now that Halo's gone, right? The climb of PC gaming. PC gaming now is going to be, it's bigger than it ever has been, and it's going to continue to grow, right? The rumors that the PS5 is struggling to run 4K games. You could see it Resident Evil 8 during the launch or whatever. It drops frames significantly. You could see it stutter. And apparently that's common within most games that are trying to run in 4K. Like, they're both just not even trying to one-up each other. They're trying to not be the person on the bottom when this all fucking comes to sale.
Right.
Again, I've always in the mindset that wherever the professional Call of Duty League is, there will be a lot of sales for that console because people want to be professional. There's a lot of people who want to be pro COD players. COD's one of the biggest console games ever. It is the biggest. To me, it's the biggest console game ever. Other than, like, I guess you could count GTA 5 or something, but I bet you there's less concurrent players. I don't know. I don't see a reason, and I'm trying to look at this like objectively, right? I don't see a reason, especially with all the rumors. Halo gets delayed. Just build a PC. Like, I know I'm a broken record with it, but I don't know why you would want a PS5 day one other than the Spider-Man game, right? But that's, again, what, 2 million people, right? That doesn't keep Sony afloat. 2 million people, right? I truly don't see a reason, especially with, like, all of the launch titles for Xbox are coming to PC. They have that initiative now that everything is released on PC, right?
Right.
the PS5 doesn't have any great exclusives. They have nostalgic exclusives, right? With fucking Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank, whatever they're in Gran Turismo, right? Forza's the better racing game. And I loved Gran Turismo. I've played a lot of Gran Turismo. Forza's the better racing game, honestly. Save your money. Build a PC. We've done videos on budget PCs. I built a budget PC for you and I took $200 off, right? That PC that I gave to you for undisclosed reasons, right? That's going to compete with your consoles. That will 100% compete with those consoles. And it might,
really?
Yes. Yeah. I'm full fucking force on that. Absolutely. Because the processor alone is better. It was like $650. I can't imagine the consoles being less than that. And if they are, they're going to be 600, right? Let's say the consoles are $500 or $600. At extra $150, you get a machine that you can upgrade whenever you want. You could do whatever you want on it, right? It could lead you into content creation. It could start you some friendships or something, right? Like there's a lot of things that a $650 PC gets you that a $500 console doesn't. So
Right.
For me at the moment, there are no great launch titles or no exclusives or nothing that's worth playing. And apparently the PlayStation exclusives are coming to PC now, right? We're seeing that with Horizon Zero Dawn. I know they're releasing a sequel to it, but just wait 6 months and then it'll be out on PC and you can experience it in better frame rate, better quality. It'll just run better. It'll be crisper. It'll be smoother. You plug your fucking PlayStation controller into the computer. I don't mind people use controllers. I just think at this point consoles are outdated, outplayed, and really lacking compared to a PC.
To be fair, the Horizon Dawn sequel wouldn't come out a few months. It would be years at this rate.
No,
Like how long ago did the original release?
Give me a second. I'll look that up. Keep going.
2015 or something. Because if it came out 2015, 2016, no, maybe what 2018. It's 2020 now, and it's just making its way to PC. Once they start releasing exclusives, and it would make it not an exclusive at that point. Once they start releasing games that people can play on their PlayStation sooner to PC, more people would be apt to do that. But I will say this, a good friend to the show and a good friend to me and my family, my buddy Jose, he just built his first PC, right? He's making the switch from console to it. I know another good friend to the show and one of our contributors, Klima Boy, is going to be building his own PC pretty soon. Another buddy of mine built one with his son here pretty soon, and it is at this point, I'm willing to say it is a safer investment because at least you know what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
We would doing a build for someone at the school today. Shane was working on it, and I was just taken back by the fact I was like, man, none of this was a waste, right? I'm a huge not waste type of person. If you actually look at my own build, there's not one wasted part in there. Actually, the only thing I didn't need was the sound card. But that was back when I didn't think we were going to be doing anything like this. I just wanted to make sure I had good sound coming out of my PC, and it's an optical. I didn't have the optical port out.
Sure.
I have to agree with Zach, man. $700 gets you a good graphics card, and you can get the Ryzen 5 AF, which is the exact same chip that I have for $89. Same amount of cores and everything, man. And you could be playing games on point tonight. But I do know that people are also creatures of habit. And the PlayStation store and the Microsoft store, or at least the PlayStation store. This is going to be a harder transition for Sony fans than it is for Xbox fans, right?
Yeah, I mean, Steam is pretty intuitive in my opinion. I was 14 when I built my first PC, 14, 15, something like that. And I was a complete moron, still am, honestly. And I figured Steam out. So, I mean, if you have any brain cells, you'll figure Steam out. It's very easy, right? The only thing that's daunting. What's up?
Build a Steam machine.
Don't absolutely do not do that. Do not ever do that.
I will get you the Steam OS if you need it. Link in the description.
I don't think it's readily available, so there will not be a link. Yeah, I honestly don't understand it, man. I made the switch a long time ago. I've been a huge proponent of PC gaming, and just PCs in general, right? Even building a computer's fun, it's a good experience. It's not hard at all. Like it's very hard to break something while building a computer.
I was thinking about a conversation you and I had recently. I forgot to mention this. You were talking about possibly buying a pre-built because you were tired of building PCs. And I was on Digital Storm's website, just kind of looking around,
nice
seeing
computers, very expensive, nice computers.
Yeah. You know what they have that's pretty liberal? I was going to suggest for you. They have a lease to own program. $40
I'm not interested. Not interested. My dad would fucking find out and choke me out. I'm serious. He would hate that. No, I'm not. You know, I want to build a new PC, or I want a new PC, right? Is what I should say. I don't want to build one. I want a new PC, but I don't want one enough, right? My 8700K is one of the best CPUs ever made, especially for gaming, right? I don't need anything better than it. What I need to do is fucking take care of it. I need to give it some new thermal paste and clean it up, but that's about it, right? Maybe I need a new case. And I'd like a bigger rad, but that's about it.
Any thoughts on what type of case you're going to switch to?
I want a Lian Li case. They're really, really nice.
Oh, the one you showed me, yeah.
What I really want is a full new setup, honestly. I have everything planned out in my head already on what I'm going to do and kind of like what components to that I want to buy. By a new setup, I don't mean like new monitors or computers and stuff. I mean a new desk and I already got my new chair, so that was the first part of it. A new boom arm, an upgraded boom arm. Like, yeah, there's a few different things I kind of want before a PC comes to mind.
Okay. I mean, right now, yeah, you have a pretty functional workstation, but you see this conversation that Zach and I are having right now, folks? You hear this conversation? This is not a conversation you can have with a PlayStation or an Xbox.
Yeah, what do they care? They're just going to put that shit onto like a 50-inch TV and have the worst gaming experience you've ever had.
No, actually, you know what? A lot of people are buying monitors for their games now, dude.
Smart. I did that switch. I did that switch 2 years before I maybe not 2 years, maybe a year and a half before I switched to PC.
Get yourself a nice 60 hertz monitor.
60?
Yeah.
Bump it up. 144 at the minimum.
Doesn't matter if it's 144 if your console only goes 60.
Oh, wow. I forgot. Consoles suck.
For those fans that are still here and have not unsubscribed because of Zach's clear bias and hatred towards you,
no, listen,
make sure to comment, like, subscribe.
I don't hate console people. Well, a little bit. I don't understand them, right? There are people who are die-hard console fans when it's clear that a gaming PC is just better, right?
Let me explain that fan to you. So there are a group of people who would be hardcore PC gamers, except for they've been playing consoles for a while. They come home from work at 4 a.m. from their shift. It just seems a lot easier to plop down on the couch, and by plop, I mean that respectively. Plop down, grab your headset, go to town, or even after work at the 9 p.m. shift. You can
do that on your PC. You can do that on your PC. Yeah. PC boots faster. PC loads games faster, right? So it's even easier. You could buy a Bluetooth. You could have Bluetooth on your PC and use an Xbox controller from your couch connected to a TV.
But there's another thing we have to discuss, right? Just recently, not recently, within the last 4 or 5 years, have you had companies like Digital Storm where you can get one warranty for your computer? Now, you wouldn't advise anyone to buy any pre-built from the school. I know that for a fact. I've only heard you say it once where you're like, yeah, go ahead and go with that.
I would buy an iBuyPower PC.
Would you really?
Yes.
Hold it for a second.
Yeah, because the PC that I'm going to buy is a $3,000 PC or something, right? So at the top end of everything, right? Everything is pretty much equal. I like Origin's cases. I like Digital Storm's design, right? I like Artisan Builds fucking involvement with a lot of streamers.
I like their website.
Artisan Builds?
Yeah, I love their website.
It's very nice. It's clean, right? I like a lot of the top things that everyone does, but iBuyPower is going to give me a functional PC that I know will work, especially at the $3,000 price point, because it's a once in a month order for them, right? So to get special treatment.
And yeah, you get that warranty. That's the big deal with a pre-built, right? It's all in one spot. The warranty is in one place. I think that would be the biggest selling point to my console friends, but I do understand the struggle to make the switch. For me, it wasn't that hard to make the switch because I've been making music on PCs for a while, so it's just like, well, this is just a better version of any music PC I've ever had. But yeah, this is not looking good for the. But there are some people who this is all going to fly over your heads, right? Everything we're saying doesn't matter to you. You don't care about gaming in 4K. You don't care that the launch, the exclusives aren't going to launch anywhere near the release date.
Sure.
Get ready for 4 to 5 months, in my opinion, before you get a game that you like, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Easy,
If you're sitting around waiting for the Miles Morales Spider-Man, or even worse, if you're like me and you're a God of War fan and there's no news about that game on the horizon, you're going to get an Assassin's Creed game before that one.
Yeah, Valhalla looks really good to me.
It looks amazing.
I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag. I think Black Flag ruined it for me. Wait, what one was the American Civil War?
Oh,
or no, the Revolutionary War.
I know what you're talking about. Yes,
5
that
maybe. That's the last one that I played. Awful. I hated it. I hated every aspect of it. The fun that I had in Assassin's Creed is significantly different than any other person that has played it. I like the multiplayer in Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
I'm one of 2 people that I've ever met that liked the multiplayer in the game, right? Me and Shane, we played it all the time. I had a blast. That's the only reason I ever liked Assassin's Creed. I don't know if I ever made it through all the way through a story in any of the Assassin's Creed games.
I think the weakest point of any Assassin's Creed game
is the multiplayer.
Is the story outside of the story, right? Where it's like you wake up and you're in modern day times and you're running around that company. That is always like there are writers that would suggest not to do that in books, and they would definitely tell you not to do that in anything that's immersive like that. But again, man, like if you're a console gamer, like this is what you got to deal with. So you get, Halo's delayed. PlayStation might not be able to play 4K games. And that is an oversimplification of the news. But if you go check out the Verge articles, if you go check out any of the clatter that's going on the internet.
Don't go fucking look at the Verge articles.
No.
I hate the Verge.
There's one contributor from the Verge who we have a policy here. We don't plug people. But if you hit me up on the side, I'll tell you the guy's name who actually writes decent. And he's not gonna be at the Verge much longer. I can tell you that.
Like, where's he gonna go? IGN? They're even worse.
No, there's that one. It was just like that one guy that used to be at the Verge, and now he used to be Mr. Mobile at the Verge, and now he's just Mr. Mobile on YouTube.
I have no idea.
Yeah, this is back when I was huge into cell phones. But this sucks, dude. This sucks for Halo players.
Ending note here, though. You want to hit up Steve to find out who that guy is? Join the Discord and give me a budget, and I'll give you the best PC you could buy.
Yeah, and I'll procure the parts from Mexico from you. But that's the other Discord.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Well, yeah, join the Discord. Come in there. You can suggest topics, right? That's still available. Come and hang out with the rest of the community. And really, honestly, if you give me a realistic budget of what you could do, and you're thinking, man, these console launches are going to be bad. I don't want to buy a console for X amount of dollars, which we still don't know, by the way. They're coming out in 3 months, and we still don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
We have no fucking idea.
And if anyone tells you that they forgot some inside information, they're lying. They're absolutely lying. I agree. No one knows.
Give me a realistic budget. I will give you head to toe PC, the monitor I think you should buy if you don't already have one, and peripherals, and I will do that. Easy. I love doing it.
I'm thinking about switching my motherboard here.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard.
No.
Why? What other features on a motherboard do you need that?
I need more USB 3.0 slots.
Buy one that plugs into your PCIe.
We've talked about this already. I'm not buying any of those things. Those reviews are scary. But
here's the issue: the upgrade that you need for more USB slots is like a $300 motherboard.
No, the tough gaming is not.
They have about 8. They have like 8. How many do you have now? Do you have 3?
Yeah, I think 3.
8 is pretty standard.
Yeah, I have 3.
How do you have 3?
3 is actually...
Wait, USB 3.0, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen a motherboard with more than 3 on it.
Yeah. God, I feel like I'm in Twilight Zone sometimes. The tough one has more than 3. The AMD one. I don't know about the Intel one, but I assume it has the same amount.
Okay.
Are you looking it up right now?
Yes.
Because while you're looking that up, I want to talk about another piece of history that went down, and I didn't want to let you get the props for this one. Dude, I gotta tell you, man, I don't know what was better about Shroud.
The Tough
No.
Gaming has 3.
I knew you were going to do this. Shane was building one at the school. It definitely had 6.
No,
it had
It has
6.
I'm looking at the schematic.
But you know what? I'll send it to you in the Discord. This is what the therapist told us not to do. This is what's bad for our business. Getting into the debates on this show. Let's talk about Shroud's beautiful mustache. Did you see it? Did
He
you
looks
see
like
the
Adam
goatee?
Sandler from what the fuck is that new movie that just came out? Something about where he's like a fucking diamond salesman or some shit. I don't know.
No, man. I saw that meme and he does it. He
Great. It
does
looks
it.
just like it. Yeah, I watched Shroud's return stream. It's Shroud, right? It's Shroud. That's it.
He's 20 minutes late to his return stream.
20 minutes late. He messed up the audio on the Twitter clip. Like, it's Shroud, dude. I love Shroud as a streamer. He's playing a game that I can't fucking stand to watch.
What game is that?
Valorant.
Game is sick, man.
No, yeah, okay. I want to see you play it. Yeah, he's just playing a game.
I play it all the time.
Yeah, cool, with that Kernel Zero anti-cheat that it has that I'm pretty positive is stealing 900% of your information. Yeah, unfortunately at the moment he's playing a game that I don't want to watch. So yeah, it was a Shroud stream. I tuned in until he showed up. I thought it was hilarious that he had the goatee going. Good for him.
I think it's the next phase of its life, man. When you're $10 million richer after taxes in California, probably more like 7.5.
6. I think if you make over $1 million in California, don't they take like 50% of your income over $1 million?
No, I think it's still 20 to 25. 20 to 25, like flat. I'm almost positive. But dude, you got to do what Joe Rogan's doing. We'll get into that.
He's moving to Texas, right?
To Texas. Best idea he's had in a long time. But I thought Shroud's return stream, I've watched, the recaps on it. I thought it was pretty cool, man. I again, this is a guy who's popular because he's good at it, right? He's not popular because he has great production. He's not popular because he does great gimmicks or anything like that. He's popular because of his skill level, right?
37% over 510,000. That's a lot.
Huh?
37% for anything over 500.
37%.
It's a lot. So it's like 7 million. That's very.
Listen,
you were very, very close. You were very good on that. I appreciate your math here.
We're not going to go politics, but that is robbery. But again, okay,
compared to most modern countries, unfortunately, it's not.
It's outrageous. I'm going to pull myself back in. I was just thinking about when I had money and when I was working in California. But at any rate, before they come looking for me, dude, I'm happy to see him back. Apparently, the deal, it is an exclusivity situation over there at Twitch. That broke also from your favorite news outlet, The Verge. A lot of people were wondering if he was just streaming on Twitch. But apparently, he came to some arrangement, and he's exclusive there again. And good for him, man. So here's the weird thing about it, right? So if you were successful at something, I would not want someone to immediately say, well, oh, how's this impacting Steve? There are some contributors and content creators out there who are like, well, how's this going to impact this relationship with Doc? Who cares,
yeah,
dude?
I don't care. Honestly,
who cares?
I don't. So there was a thing going on recently, and I forget who tweeted. I think Asmongold, WoW streamer. You'd know him from fucking fast food videos or whatever. He said, like when there's beef going on between streamers or potential beef, right? Not even real beef, but like potential beef. Like chats need to stay the fuck out of it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like chat going over by themselves and harassing the other streamer looks like the streamer's like, hey guys, I don't like this guy, go harass him, right? It looks like that, clearly looks like that. And most of the time it's not the case, right? Because beefs between streamers are actually, most of the streamers I think are friends, right? Like I think most of them are friends. And it's just bad, man. It's just bad business, bad PR. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Here's
the thing about that, man. That whole East Coast versus West Coast thing, no matter what documentary you watch about it, the whole Biggie versus Tupac, that was more of a beef between people who are fans of these two people. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Don't agree with me. It doesn't make for fun shows.
Yeah, but this is not a beef situation. I think a lot of people thought that he was going to go to YouTube because that seemed like the move, but there was no ill will between him and Twitch when he left. He left like most responsible people because he had a better offer, right? and that
Correct.
offer dried up. That offer dried up. They offered him something that Twitch did not offer him at that time, and I'd be interested to see what that markup or markdown was when he came back to Twitch, because I just like to know what the contract is. I would like to know what it is, but that's his personal business.
I'm interested.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. This is a great move for Shroud, and I'm going to take it a little bit linear here,
And
because
for Twitch.
for Twitch, because I don't know if he has any aspirations beyond this, right? He's rich, probably doesn't have to work another day in his life if he manages his money well. Any revenue at this point is bonus revenue. Any venture revenue at this point is bonus revenue.
So much money. He's over
So at this point,
17,000 subs already.
Yeah, and so at this point, he could literally just be doing this to have fun. So you have to know a lot about him to know where he came from to where he's at now. He's probably in the position where he's wanted to be for quite some time, being able to play games and just relax and have fun doing it, dude.
Man, sure. I can agree to that. But
Right.
I think once you're a competitive player, you're always a competitive player, right? He was a pro CS player for a long time. Everyone knows this. I don't think that leaves you, right?
Okay.
I don't think that ever leaves you. I'm a very competitive person. You're a competitive person, right? Like,
yes.
I'm not.
I'm the most competitive person.
There you go. You can lie to yourself. I'm not professionally competitive, right? I don't play professional Call of Duty, and I would be so broke by getting all the fines from this year's COD because it's so garbage. But yeah, I think he'll always be a competitor, right? There is always some level of competition there. I don't think he plays games. He plays games to have fun. Obviously, you can't play games that long to not have fun. But there's also, he always plays the most competitive games that are out at the moment. Valorant is the most competitive game out at the moment. So he's playing Valorant, right? And he's very good at it. When PUBG was it, he was the PUBG guy, right? He never lashed on a Fortnite that much, and I thank him for that. But like Tarkov, right? He was a Tarkov guy for a while. And like he plays these super competitive games because I think that's where he finds his fun, is being in that competitive aspect.
That makes a lot of sense. I don't disagree with that assessment. I think we can both agree to this, right? This man has earned it, considering where he came from, considering where his spot, and then not having security on the team. That documentary about him, just knowing about him as a player and who he was competitively, this is a good look for him. Also, a very good look for his lady, who is also a very sick game player. I was watching some of her clips, man. And
Beanans is very good. Yeah,
dude. She is not an internet thought. She is not an IG model. She is an actual gamer, dude.
Yeah, she's like legitimately good. Yeah. Beanans is very good for sure.
Dude, I watched her get a 3 kill in Valorant, and I was just like, man, I feel bad for the kids that came in the room, because they came in, they were like, we got her.
Yeah.
And it was just like bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. So it's funny, right? If talking about feeling bad for when a person goes up against solo against other people. Did you happen to watch the video I sent you the other night? The Tarkov video? I sent you a video on Escape from Tarkov.
I might have, but I'm always like half dead by the time we start wrapping stuff up. Can you remind me of it?
I sent you a video from a guy named Landmark. At the moment, Landmark is by and large the best Tarkov player on the planet.
Okay.
Legitimately. So Tarkov is a game, and I've spoken vastly about it, right? And I love Tarkov. I really do at its core. Tarkov is a game that if you're up 2-1, 99 times out of 100, your side, right? It might not be both of you get out. One of you is going to get out. 2 versus 1, 99 times out of 100. Numbers really, really matter in this game, right? Unless you're Landmark. I've seen him multiple times kill a 5-player team and not take a single shot. And like, he's just so good. I honestly feel bad for the players he's playing against. And now he plays on the hardest map too. Labs is the hardest map. There's the most cheaters on it too, and he kills the cheaters too. He will go on, because these are the best players out of the best, right? When you're running labs, right, you're using your best gear. You have your best helmets and your rigs and the biggest backpack to get the most stuff out to make the most money. He goes in and is playing against the best of the best and makes them look like an amateur. And it's actually really, really fun to watch.
Better than your boy Pastilli?
I would say better than Pastilli. I think Pastilli's number 2. I think Pastilli is still a very, very good player. But they play different play styles, right? And they're the best at their respective play styles for sure. Landmark plays Tarkov like I play Call of Duty. When he spawns in, he just sprints, right? And he's running at people. And this is not a game that works well in that play style at all. You're at a disadvantage the entire time. But
not for this guy.
Not for this guy. He's very, very good. Pastilli plays in a very different way where he's playing methodically. He's very good at leveling, right? He's very good at doing the things in Tarkov that is classic Tarkov, and he's the best at that. Now, he's a good player too. I've seen Pastilli multiple times wipe out 5-man teams, right? But I've never seen anyone be as dominant in a game as Landmark is in Tarkov.
Yeah, I see the clip here. I'm gonna watch it after this. You know what, man? Sometimes the one thing I miss most about gaming with a dad is the plans we had for games. Like I remember there was one time I was like, man, we should just go through playing the versus mode in every shooter just to see how you personally stack up. Like I was watching people playing the battle, the PvP and Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and that was the only reason I played the whole game through because I wanted to get the character leveled up enough. I went in there. It is the friggin' Wild Wild West. If you're not ready for the niche people who play that game, they're amazing.
I don't think your character level transfers to multiplayer.
It does.
I really don't think so. I played the first one, right? Out of the Ghost Recon. Sure. I played the first one and I played multiplayer in it, and everyone's at the same thing. Someone's at the same playing field. I'm positive.
I think they changed that in Breakpoint, but
it doesn't make sense. You can't do that in a competitive shooter, right? Because the person who has
let's consult the Oracle. Google it.
I'm right
Google
here.
it. I will carry the conversation. But those kids are nasty. And listen, to all 20 of you that are still playing the Ghost Recon Breakpoint PvP, you know you're good. I don't understand how you're that good. I don't understand how you became that good, but it's amazing. But I miss thinking about what we were gonna do with gaming with a dad. Do you remember we were playing Gears before we did the PvP? What was that mode? What was that mode
Horde?
we played? Horde mode? That was actually really fun until we got to like level 50. Then I was like, this isn't ending. Like at this point, I don't even want to play anymore because it just kept getting outrageous. Another thing I don't like about Gears, I don't like that grenade launcher thing with the laser. I think that's a cheap way to win any game. You can shoot that thing across the map, and it's pretty much going to kill everything in its path. But I'll check it out, man. I'm going to check out some Tarkov. I like watching Tarkov to go to sleep to because it's like watching a movie.
It's incredible.
To be honest.
Yeah, I can send you videos of like. There's things like, listen, I've played a lot of the game, right? I've played hundreds of hours of the game.
Calm down.
There were things that Landmark was doing in a raid that I was like watching in the live stream that I didn't understand why he was doing it at the time, right? I know how to hold angles. I know how to hold corners. I know how to peek doors. But there were things that he was doing that I was like, wait, why did he? Oh, that made a lot of sense.
It's a skill gap.
There's a skill gap. I've been asked multiple times, why do you watch people play games? Why don't you just play the game, right? And it's like, why do you watch people play basketball, right? Why do you watch the NBA, right? Because you could play at your own level and be the best person in your town, but there's still just a different level, you know?
Plus, you'll never see what's possible unless you don't watch people who are great at something. Short of painting, you know, I think that anything you watch someone else do and they do something that you thought was impossible before, the impossible now becomes probable. Look at BMX biking, skateboarding. There's so many tricks that people thought were impossible until a Dave Mirra came around, to a Tony Hawk came around. You know, so I think it makes total sense. Makes total sense.
Sure. I can't find anything on Ghost Recon, man, on how it works, honestly.
That's because they've scrubbed it from the internet. But look, we don't have to worry about that, man. And we don't even have to worry. Go ahead.
This is co-op multiplayer. So I can't find anything about the PvP. So
I think I can log in.
No game that's ever done that.
Actually, I'll log in and then we'll get this going. You just carry the conversation. Ghost Recon is probably going to crash my computer when I turn it on for the first time in months.
So yeah, gaming. doing stuff. Have you played any games recently? I don't think you have, right? You've been busy.
Yeah, I was playing it. No, I was playing Assassin's Creed last night. My mom's up, but I came down for a second and played for a little bit. Then I realized like the mission I was about to embark on was actually going to be something I was going to be. Yes, and I was like, all right, got to log out of this.
That's fair.
But now I'm ready to talk about it, man. I'm ready to talk about it. The real thing we came here to talk about tonight, ladies and gentlemen, DC versus Stipe 3. Only 12 times in UFC history where there's been a three-peat. And believe it or not, Charles Oliveira is involved in one of those three-peat matches, if you can believe that.
Against who?
I forgot his name. That's how unimportant it.
Before we do this, you know what trilogy I would actually really like to see, because both of them were good fights?
What's that?
Jim Miller, Joe Lozon.
Oh, it's a great one. If you want to see one that's better than that, Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard.
There you go. Yeah, I would like to see these trilogies. Even though Jim Miller won both the fights. Frank Edgar, Gray Maynard, is Frank Edgar 2-0?
Yeah, it was a it was a draw the first one. Then Frankie won the next two.
There already was a trilogy.
Yeah. That's literally what I just said.
I said there's a trilogy that I wanted to see. Joe Lozon and Jim Miller only fought twice. And you said
they only fought. Oh, I thought you meant like I wanted to see that, like it happened.
No, a trilogy that I'd like to see. All right,
Listen,
DC Stipe's fighting tonight for watching it.
What is your attraction to Joe Lozon? Because you're one of those Joe Lo fans, man. Like he's a great fighter. He's a better coach than a fighter. Some people might say he's a great he's a better businessman. What is it about Joe Lozon that you're so?
Joe Lozon multiple times has been on one of the podcasts that I watch. Painkiller already. He's friends with the guys. He's been on multiple times. He's fun to listen to. Comes from a background in computer science. Yeah, a lot of things about him.
Kenny Florian versus Joe Lozon. Look up that fight. It was actually kind of a King of Boston type of situation. But Stipe versus DC, man. So what do we got going? What do we know coming into this fight, right? First fight, Stipe had to erase the loss of someone else in his career. Went up, did something that prior champion that he had lost to had never done. Challenged for the heavyweight belt, which was his native division. So if we look at Stipe if we look at DC from when he was in Strikeforce, he was the Grand Prix champion. Actually came in, beat Bigfoot when no one thought that he should be fighting at that point. Like he was kind of in a situation like we should build him up more.
Okay.
Went in there, dominated, knocked Bigfoot out before Cain Velasquez did it.
Okay.
Tossed poor Josh Barnett on top of his one of the best power slams I've ever seen in my life. I remember watching that fight and I was just like, amazing. First fight with him and Stipe, really quick.
Fluke.
I don't think so, my friend. You'd have to know nothing about fighting to think that was a fluke. But I'm willing to hear you out. What was flukish about it?
Stipe has been hit harder and not been knocked out. I think it was just like right time, right punch. Like I think if it happens again, it doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? I think if that exact transition with the exact same shot happens again, I don't think he goes down.
So the only reason I would disagree with you is that Stipe has leaned into those type of punches multiple times. And prior to that, it's a habit he obviously has broken now.
Sure.
Probably never let it happen again.
Sure.
I don't think it was a fluke. It would be a fluke if that was the first time Daniel had ever fought in heavyweight division. I think Daniel went up and with the extra mass and not having to cut weight and be diminished, he had his power back, caught him. He caught him clean.
Sure.
He caught him clean. He caught him clean out the transition, and it was perfect.
You're 100% right. No, he caught him clean. It was a very nice. He saw a weakness and hit him with it. But I'm saying Stipe took a Francis Ngannou shot to the face. Francis hits harder.
That shot was not clean though. That's the thing that was
clean. The entire side of his face was swollen, and Francis hits significantly harder than DC.
He does hit harder than him, but the problem was that was not a clean hit. I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's what's so frustrating about the Francis versus Stipe fight, because those punches were not landing. They were more clubbing, but they weren't landing flush on the temple the way you would want to. I'm going to go on the record here. I actually think Francis beats Stipe if they ever meet again. I think it's a different Francis, but I've been wrong. I've been wrong about this.
Unfortunately.
So I was at your dad's house with you watching the rematch between DC and Stipe. DC was doing what he does. He's moved away. We actually commented on this during the fight. I was wondering why he didn't wrestle more outside of the first round.
Sure.
He was doing his pressure boxing thing, which seems to be his go-to. It's his version of the fadeaway shot, like Jordan. Later in his career, I think it's easier for DC to do that type of pressure fighting than have to do a bunch of chain takedowns and stuff like that.
I think you're right. I think a lot of those wrestlers, especially Olympic wrestlers, have really bad hips.
Yeah.
Right. So that chain wrestling, especially against someone who has a wrestling background, I think Stipe does, right? He wrestled in college.
Yeah.
I think it's hard, right? I don't think I'm not saying Stipe's wrestling is even anywhere near Daniel Cormier's, but it's still, he knows enough to where the chain wrestling is going to put a lot of pressure on him. And
yeah, it's going to be really discouraging when you can't hold him down. That's the problem for DC, right? Like, he has to be dominating in that area for him to continue doing it. It's a lot of energy to get a guy down to the ground and to hold him there. And you're not going to be able to hold Stipe down like that. He's going to scramble out and he's going to stuff a few. He's going to hit you a few times while you're coming in for it. So you and I are watching the fight, and we noticed that, Daniel started to kind of fade. I believe it was in the third round. And that's when the first body shot came. Then the second body shot.
Round, yeah.
And so that's what we got for the first two fights, right? This third fight, for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, sincerely don't know who's going to win. I have no idea. I'm watching the reels. I'm watching the embeddeds. My wife is way more invested in the embeddeds nowadays.
I don't care about the embeddeds, honestly.
She's like building a real fight IQ opinion about these type of things. I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen. They both weighed in extremely light. DC weighed in, I believe, at 233.
233.
Stipe was what? 230?
No, he got DC was 236. Stipe was 233. I texted you that earlier.
There you go.
Stipe came in at 230 the last fight, though. All right, so he
came in at what was it? He came in around the same weight last fight.
230. And he came in at 233 this time.
Give me the weights.
Okay.
But both coming in completely light. This is actually the second lightest DC's ever come in his career. Apparently, DC actually made it to 230 in light heavyweight in one of his fights. I'm not light heavyweight, in heavyweight. And so both guys are looking for cardio. Obviously, right? They're going to want to go the distance. They're going to want to be able to, withstand any pressure that's coming their way. I have no idea who's going to win this fight. A lot of people are talking about DC's age being a factor in this. I don't think DC is going to let it be a factor.
Sure, I can agree to that.
I think DC is going to continue to push the pace. I agree with Ariel Helwani. I'm not entirely sure we're going to see a knockout in this fight. I think this is going to be a grueling 5-round affair.
Sure. He came in at 230.
230?
In the second fight. Yep. And then Cormier came in at 235 or something.
The first fight, I think Cormier was like at 245. The first fight.
I'm getting like different opinions. Stipe 230 all around. Cormier went at 236 and a half. 230 and a half versus 236 and a half. And now they're 233, 236.
Yeah.
So
this time 3-pound difference.
I don't think a 3-pound difference is a big deal, honestly.
It can be with wrestlers, but it all depends on like how this, so if DC lost the weight correctly coming down to this, it's not going to matter at all. If this was all from him just like depleting himself and overworking himself.
If he cut, you're saying if he cuts weight, he's a 60% fighter. But if he
I'm saying if he didn't lose this weight correctly and he overtrained, because he's at the age where your training camp has to be completely measured to the point where you have enough energy for the bounce back for the fight.
Sure.
So if he was overdoing it this entire time, it's going to show in the fight. But I think he did it pretty intelligently, and Stipe is just a stud, who also I don't think gets enough credit for his fight IQ or just his IQ in general. But fair. I think that I got nothing for you, Zach. I don't know who to pick. Yeah. I'm not gonna pick. I know you're going Stipe. You got a chip on your shoulder. You think DC's been getting too much props in the press. I could tell in your eyes that you're angry with DC.
But I like Stipe a lot, right? I like him as a heavyweight champion. I think he's fun to watch, right? His fights are always really good. He's probably had a boring fight. I mean, I couldn't recall one off the top of my head, but
Not in my mind.
Right.
No,
He's fun to. That's what I like in a champion. He likes to fight. Like I like that in a champion, right? What I don't like in a champion is what Khabib does, and I love Khabib as much as anyone, but fights once a year, if that, right? Once every 18 months, whatever it is, doesn't fight like his fights. Well, I find them incredibly interesting because of the little things he does, but overall they're fairly boring, right? Because you know the outcome, you know what's going to happen. And that's like whatever, right? But Stipe is a person that I like to watch. He's always different, right? He doesn't have that one dominant style. He's versatile, right? He does have a fairly good fight IQ. I would agree with that as well. You don't make an adjustment like he did in the second fight, which he was losing, down on all cards, I believe. You don't make an adjustment like that and then knock out DC. It's not something to overlook.
So here's the thing about Stipe, right? So if we look at his contest against JDS, the first one JDS won by decision. That was a brutal fight. And then Stipe obviously cleaned his clock. The next time they came around, Stipe gets better in rematches. Stipe's boxing is actually really good. A lot of people think it's sloppy because they look at that win over Fabricio Verdum. But that was actually him doing the best he could in a very weird situation. No one knew Fabricio was going to come out like a bat out of hell, throwing girlfriend punches. And that shit catches you off guard, dude. You're like, whoa, bing. And he clocked him. I think Stipe is a great champion.
Who was Stipe training with? Who was Stipe's training partners for this camp? I know DC worked a lot with Corey Anderson prior to this fight.
Know. Stipe keeps it local with his same crew. You know, actually, weird thing was Jessica I used to be in his camp, but he kept it all local. And here's what I think we're going to see, right? I think Stipe has come in for a cardio affair. We're going to see a lot of grappling. We're going to see a lot of stuffing of the takedown.
Sure.
DC has made it clear that he's going to use all of his tools, which is code for I'm going to wrestle the shit out of him.
Sure.
This time around and mix it up and makes him, make him more worried about the takedown. It's going to be amazing to see who comes out on top of this. But I knew I said I wasn't going to do this, but with two real MMA aficionados. The thing that sucks about this is, right? So now we're vying for who is the greatest heavyweight of all time.
I don't think DC's in the conversation. I'm sorry.
No, so it's hard to have him in the conversation only because his career took him down the path of light heavyweight, even though it started in heavyweight. But this is the hard thing for Stipe. That first loss kind of put that, and I'm stealing this. This is not an original thought. I thought it was said eloquently by Akamoto or whatever the guy's name is, Greg Akamoto, which
Brett Akamoto.
Yeah, there it is, Brett Akamoto. Which was that a lot of people felt that Stipe's only champion because DC wasn't in the heavyweight division, right? Which is unfair to Stipe.
That's super unfair
because we never got to see Stipe versus Kane, which is not Stipe's fault, right? Fight could have been booked. Kane was injured. Not Stipe's fault.
Kane was injured for like 6 years in a row.
Kane's been injured since birth, but he'd come in here and kill me any time of day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Here's the thing: if we're talking about greatest UFC heavyweight, that's definitely on the line here.
Do you think Stipe has the most defenses, right?
That's for UFC,
right? For the UFC, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
most title defenses, right?
Yeah,
probably one of the hardest paths. He fought everybody. Right?
Everybody.
DC can't come in and win a championship and then be the GOAT. I'm sorry. Listen, like if DC wins, he's in the argument for the greatest fighter of all time. Light heavyweight champion, only lost to John, right? Was fairly dominant, moved up to heavyweight, beats the champion, wins the trilogy, right? This is my thought, right? Wins the trilogy. He might be the greatest fighter in UFC history, right? I don't think he is, but he could be in the argument for that, but still cannot be in the argument for the greatest champion of all time because he doesn't have the title, he doesn't have the.
It can't be an argument for the greatest UFC fight heavyweight of all time. By the standards and rules, you're absolutely 100% correct. Because it's like, if you look at the accolades of Stipe, I agree with you 100%. Now,
he had to fight people though, right?
Yeah, but
DC was gifted the championship.
Hold on for a second.
Because he's a company man, right? He's great. I get it. DC is great. But he didn't come up and get a fight and then get the championship, right? Like the same reason Conor went from 45 to 55 and got a title shot because he was a big draw, right? He didn't. Yeah, but did he deserve it? We got to look at it. Obviously,
we got to look at his whole career. So he does have some heavyweight wins in his career.
How long ago? 5 years, 6 years.
Before that, Frank Mir, Big Roy Nelson, and someone else. That might be it actually for heavyweights. the data is there. So, you're making a very legible argument, which is, can he be considered the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time? Only if you go by MMA math and that he's beat the heavyweight champion who's defended the belt the most.
He did defend it once too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he beat poor Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis gives him. Hold on.
The GOAT.
Derek Lewis gives him a harder fight now. I don't think he gives him a great fight.
100%.
He gives him a harder fight though, for sure.
Oh man, I just saw a little light flash on my my mixer. It got me worried there for a second.
Yeah, when audio comes in, it'll flash.
Yeah, the little comp light. But at any rate, man, what's really unfair to these guys is that every bit of the talk always leads to one path. I'm not going to say his name, but it's like if you're Stipe and you beat DC and you're thinking about sticking around, your next thought should be, okay, so what are we going to do for Francis? But that's not Dana's thought. That's not the fans' thought. Everyone's like, well, where are you going to get this other guy to stop doing cocaine and come up and fight in heavyweight?
Sure.
And that's a rough spot to be in, right? It's like, because then if you lose to him, then you're really out of the conversation. And it only affirms what no one wants to admit about someone that can get off the couch after doing cocaine, right? And come win a couple of fights. Is he really the greatest combat sports athlete? We'll never know until he goes up to heavyweight. We'll never know.
Combat sports is hard, right? Because you have to include boxing and wrestling and all of the above, right? Henry Cejudo might actually be in the conversation for the greatest combat sports athlete of all time. Probably one of the only people he's the only person to ever win UFC gold, an Olympic medal, and another championship, right? He's the only fucking person to ever do that. He's the only person.
Yeah, no, you're right. If we were going off boxing rules, then Conor McGregor would have been the official first pound for pound champion, right? He would purely if you go off boxing
because he moved around weights, right?
Yes,
that is absolutely fair. He's also the first 2 division champion, right?
Yeah.
Or at least to hold it simultaneously.
Yes.
GSP or Silva moved up, right? And won a championship. Maybe it was GSP.
That was after Conor. So it was BJ Penn.
Sorry. BJ Penn, the other fucking crazy Hawaiian, was where I was going with that.
Poor guy. But no, you're 100% correct. What you said is 100% true. Henry Cejudo should be considered the greatest combat sports athlete. Here's the problem with that, right? People also quantify that with your competition. Who did you have to beat?
He beat the best UFC fighter in history.
So DJ is only the best according to people who believe that his path was difficult. But if we're actually looking at it,
also the most dominant, also the most title defenses in a row, also the most wins in a row.
Most dominant in one of the most shallow divisions.
That's fair. You could argue that, but you could also argue the fact that GSP is not the best of all time because he fought at a time in which the competition was less than it is right now.
See, but then you have to go into it that GSP also fought literally through 2 different eras. So he beat the champion of champions of all time during his first era, which was Matt Hughes, and then defended against anyone that was coming up in the quote unquote new era. Right.
And also the idea of this conversation is, does Matt Hughes even make top 15 right now?
No, but that was the point. So
right, that's what I'm saying.
He beat the king of the kings in that era.
This is like when people argue, is Tom Brady better than Joe Namath? But can't argue it. It's hard.
But there's a difference there. Tom Brady wasn't playing during that era.
Correct.
But GSP did beat Matt Hughes in that era, and then he also beat many fighters in the next era. So you can make a legible argument, say that GSP is in the conversation for the greatest fighter of all time. Look at the path he had to take. I love Demetrius Johnson. I love him. But the fact of the matter is, maybe some of the competition wasn't there. Like when you think about, he fought Ray Borg at a time where Ray Borg may not be the Ray Borg that people feared. He did lose to Dominic Cruz, though, interestingly enough, right?
Sure.
So that's, I would have been more willing to stake my hat as DJ being the greatest if he fought TJ. But Henry Cejudo fought TJ and beat him.
Yes. No, I agree. I think DJ beats TJ as well. Very acronym here. I don't know. We'll never see it. For sure, we'll never see it. We might know. Is TJ suspension up this year? Maybe beginning of next year.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Does he have a fight announced already? Did I miss this?
No, he'll be back soon. He'll be back soon.
This time next year, we have had a TJ fight for sure, right?
It's gonna be weird to see him come back because it's like,
yeah, I don't care, dude. Honestly, I said this to you. What was it last night, whatever it was? That I think if anyone's caught using steroids in a combat sport, I think they're banned for life. They should be banned for life.
So here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about the road to championships, right?
Sure.
I have a lot of respect for how Stipe did it, and I definitely have a lot of respect. Actually, I have a lot of respect for how Daniel did it. You know, all of it historically, from Strikeforce to the UFC, coming down from heavyweight, not wanting to fight Kane, and then making his path, losing to John. I like the fact also you got to give DC respect that he never says, "Oh, I only lost to John once." He, everyone knows he lost twice. He acknowledged,
and he would lose every other fucking time he fought him. Let's be fair. There's just no, but I'm not saying like because they're both incredible, right? But there's just some people that have your number.
Yeah.
There's that person at work that you can't get that joke out because they beat you to it, right?
Oh, Chad, man, I hate Chad.
Fuck Chad, dude. But I think John just knows DC, right? Also, DC's path in the UFC not nearly as hard as people might give it.
No, it's
not. The Anthony Rumble Johnson fight is probably one of the scariest fights anyone's ever taken, right?
Yes, and he took it twice, gladly.
Yeah, strange. And submitted him twice, the exact same way. He fought twice in light heavyweight before getting a championship, right? How shallow was that division when he was fighting in it? He fought Patrick Cummins and then Dan Henderson, and then fought for.
I'm so happy it was you that brought it up, dude. Because whenever this shit comes up, I always have to remind people that DC only beat Pat Cummins. He was supposed to fight Rashad Evans, which would have been the fight to make, because that's when Rashad Evans was still Rashad Evans.
Sure.
And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way at all. I believe that, head injuries are a real thing. You don't make fun of the guy. But that's when Rashad Evans was Rashad Evans. And I think
peaks and valleys in
professional sports. Yeah. You know what I'm saying. I think that would have been a great fight for a DC to prove that he was worthy of being at light heavyweight. But he got Dan Henderson. Let's keep it real about that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Dan Henderson.
Right, exactly. And then goes up and loses the John.
So, and I mean, that was a great fight with Gustafsson. It's interesting that they both said that he was their toughest fight. And but so if you look at who John beat on his way to the championship,
he beat everybody. Right. That's what I was gonna go there. I think John
got the division.
John might have one of the most difficult paths to a championship of all time, right?
Yeah.
He fought his way up.
And then defended against everyone.
And everybody, and still will defend against anybody, right?
And same thing with Stipe. Stipe took that fight with Francis.
He didn't have to. Francis was what, ranked out maybe number 10 or something. Outside the top 10 at the time.
He was number 2. But I mean, that's a scary
was
fight.
He?
Yeah, it was scary. Dude,
he knocked out Overeem and gets jumped to 2.
No, dude. Oh my God, Francis killed like 5 people or 3 or 4 people on his way to Stipe. It was horrible, dude. Curtis Blades twice. Yeah.
He did beat up Curtis Blades. Actually, once before and once after, I think.
Yeah.
Poor fucking
Curtis Blades.
Poor Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades, honestly, is a dark horse in that division. If he gets a little bit together, his wrestling is very, very good. He could fucking nuke some people, but
again, I think that Stipe has his number, and I think there's also a little bit of fear, rightfully so. Your instinct should kick in when not Stipe, Francis. I think when you step into the ring with someone like Francis, your body's gonna let you know, like, hey, this is a fight or flight type of situation.
Sure.
It takes a special person to be able to take, deal with that. So I still, after all of this, I want to say that I think Stipe is gonna win. But
I do too.
Daniel Cormier is a stubborn old man, and he's going to come in there. He's going to bring the fight to Stipe. Hopefully, he's got some body defense by now. Go ahead.
Sure. Francis was fed cans his entire run.
What cans? What are you talking about?
Only person on this list that is at all.
I'll tell you.
Luis Henrique.
Not a can.
Curtis Blades. Bohan Miholovic. Yeah, okay, you can say that all you want. Anthony Hamilton.
Oh, one of the greatest to ever do it.
Andrei Arlovsky in 2017.
Andrei Arlovsky is no laughing. He's no easy out for anyone.
He's a fucking
just,
can. The only other person is Alistair Overeem.
Dude, listen to me. Andrei Arlovsky deserves your respect.
Listen, I like Andrei Arlovsky a lot. He's actually fun to watch. But this is also Andrei Arlovsky probably 5 years out of his prime or something.
Andrei Arlovsky has he's
the only person in the UFC who has a worse record than Nate Diaz.
Who? Andrei Arlovsky?
He's 29-19 with 2 no contests. He at one point lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row.
You ever see his fight with Travis Brown?
No.
Amazing.
No.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
He lost or he beat Brendan Schaub, which again, a can. But he lost to Stipe.
That's your boy, man.
Lost to Overeem. He's fucking idiot. Lost to Overeem, lost to Josh Barnett, lost to Francis, lost to Marcin Tybura, and then beat some dude who's probably not even the top 75 at heavyweight. And there's like 13 people in heavyweight. And then he beats Stefan Struve, the 19-foot tall fucking can.
You know Stipe lost to Stefan Struve?
Yeah, he did. Stipe is the one person that I look at his record and I'm like, holy shit. He fought John too to like 90% of the extent, right? He fought everybody, dude.
Yeah. Mark Hunt.
You've been around. Everyone's fought Mark Hunt, dude.
You fought Mark Hunt. He's like, I saw him at Whole Foods.
Anything to do with that man, bro. When you're so good at knocking people out that you walk away after you hit them, like his highlight reel of walk away knockouts is 30 minutes long, A, and B, it's hilarious. Dude, it's almost as funny as Fedor's soccer kick compilation.
You know what? Of all the people Fedor has ever fought, it's amazing. Oh man, what's this guy's name? He just passed away. African American dude, had blonde hair, was a wrestler.
I know you're talking.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. His fight with Fedor, man, that's the one where he famously gets slammed on his head, and Fedor came back. Someone was asking me if Stipe wins, will he be considered the greatest heavyweight of all time?
Fedor has that pretty much locked in, I think.
No. If Fedor is the standard, if I got to go off of those coked up steroid heads, then no, because you got to use that same consistency with him. The fighters he beat back then wouldn't stand a chance.
Bro, cans for sure.
They're not cans, you psychopath. They're elite athletes that just, they aged out. This is back when a hook could win you a fight.
Like, because no one had seen it before. Oh my god, what was that? Is he allowed to do that? Ref, and the guy's speaking Japanese. I have no fucking idea, dude.
He's like, Yakuza say you pay or you die.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, what's Sean O'Malley?
What's up?
Sean O'Malley. What's his Twitch name?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know why I know that. Let's wrap it up here, man. We've talked at length about the fights. They're incredible. Look for our picks tomorrow. I'll be streaming right up into it, I think. I might stream during it until the main card, potentially.
You gonna do a fight party?
No, probably not.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I was thinking about it, but maybe not. Maybe not.
You're gonna eat during the fights.
What's up?
You're gonna eat during the fights.
I don't eat during the fights.
You don't?
I eat prior. Yeah.
I gotta eat during the fights, man.
I want a full concentration. But I'll be watching Landmark during the fights.
Dude, we're gonna do a stream episode here pretty soon, right?
Coming up very shortly. Yeah. We'll talk more about that, and then we'll announce it on one of the shows coming up.
Sounds good to me, man. Where can the people find us at?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, MySpace.
There is no Pinterest account. Don't go looking for it.
MySpace. That weird Ford forums, Dodge forums too. We like to troll both of them. And the website All Talking with a Dad, Anchor, Spotify, wherever you Google Talking with a Dad. Nothing will come up, and then you'll have to go to a certain website and then put / Talking with a Dad, and then you'll find us, and it'll be great.
We'll be there.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, again for listening to episode 49. 50 coming up next. It's a big number. We're pretty much solidified here as a podcasting powerhouse.
Hold on for a second. Zach didn't tell you people that 49B is going to be happening on Monday. 50 will
49B
be-
happening on Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Look forward to it. We
Yes.
hope to see you back for the second episode of 49. Have a great day.